The iPhone 17 Air, a vision of the future and the legacy of iPhones. Part 1. The birth of the iPhone and the name Apple. In the mid-2000s, the tech world was a battlefield of clunky flip phones and BlackBerries with tiny keyboards. Apple, a company known for its sleek Macs and iPods, was about to change everything. The story of the first iPhone began in 2004, when Steve Jobs, Apple's visionary CEO, grew frustrated with the limitations of existing phones. He envisioned a device that could blend a phone, music player, and internet browser into one touchscreen marvel. Codenamed Project Purple, the effort was shrouded in secrecy, with Apple's top engineers working in a locked-down lab. The challenge was daunting. Apple had no experience in mobile phones, and early prototypes were riddled with issues: poor call quality, sluggish interfaces, and battery woes. Jony Ive, Apple's design guru, pushed for a minimalist glass screen, but the tech wasn't ready. Engineers battled over multi-touch, a risky bet that required scrapping physical buttons. By 2006, after countless sleepless nights, the team cracked it: a 3.5-inch capacitive touchscreen with fluid gestures. The iPhone, unveiled by Jobs on January 9, 2007 at Macworld San Francisco, stunned the world. With a 2-megapixel camera, 4 gigabytes of storage, and a browser that rendered full websites, it sold 6.1 million units before its 2008 discontinuation. It wasn't just a phone, it was a revolution, birthing the smartphone era. Why Apple? The name traces back to 1976, when Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne founded the company. Jobs, fresh from a stint at an apple orchard, suggested the name for its simplicity and whimsy, inspired by the Beatles' Apple Core and a desire to evoke something natural yet bold. "It's a fruit, it's friendly, and it comes before Atari in the phone book," Jobs reportedly quipped, referencing his former employer. The bitten Apple logo, designed by Rob Janoff in 1977, symbolized knowledge, a nod to the biblical apple, and a playful pun on bite. By 2007, Apple's name had become synonymous with innovation, setting the stage for the iPhone's cultural quake. Posts on X in 2025 still celebrate this origin, with users joking that Apple's fruitful name fuels its knack for reinventing tech. Part 2. The story of the iPhone 17 Air. In the heart of Cupertino, September 2025 dawned with a buzz that could only mean one thing: Apple's annual iPhone unveiling. This year, whispers of something revolutionary had been swirling for months, a device so sleek it seemed to defy physics. As Tim Cook took the stage at the Steve Jobs Theater, the crowd hushed and the spotlight fell on the iPhone 17 Air, a phone that promised to redefine what a smartphone could be. A design that steals breath. The iPhone 17 Air emerged from the shadows, and gasps rippled through the audience. At just 5.44 millimeters thick, it was the slimmest iPhone ever crafted, thinner than an unfolded Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, and rivaling Apple's own 5.1 millimeter iPad Pro M4. Its frame, a titanium aluminum alloy, gleamed in a new sky blue hue inspired by the M4 MacBook Air, with a soft, almost ethereal glow. The back was a seamless blend of glass and aluminum, with a horizontal camera bar stretching across its width, a bold departure from the familiar square bump. This bar, housing a single 48-megapixel rear camera, was slightly raised, ensuring the lens didn't compromise the phone's razor-thin profile. The 6.4-inch OLED display was a marvel, its edges curving ever so slightly to create a near-borderless illusion. ProMotion technology, with a 120 Hz refresh rate, made every swipe buttery smooth, a feature now extended to all iPhone 17 models. The dynamic island, rumored to shrink with MetaLens technology for Face ID, remained largely unchanged, a familiar notch housing a 24-megapixel selfie camera that promised crisp, vibrant shots even in low light. The USB-C port, slightly off-center due to internal space constraints, was a subtle nod to the engineering feats within, though Apple hinted at a port-free future.
Holding the iPhone 17 Air felt like grasping a feather, 145 grams of minimalist elegance. But its slimness came with trade-offs. The absence of a physical SIM tray, replaced by eSIM worldwide, and a single top-mounted speaker instead of stereo hinted at compromises for design. Yet Apple's focus was clear. This was a phone for those who craved style over spec sheet supremacy. Inside the iPhone 17 Air. Beneath its sleek exterior, the iPhone 17 Air was a technological marvel. Powered by the A19 chip on a 3N node, it delivered modest but efficient performance gains over the A18, prioritizing battery life and AI tasks. With 12 gigabytes of RAM, a leap from the iPhone 16's 8, it was primed for Apple Intelligence features like AI-powered call screening, live translation across apps, and enhanced visual intelligence. The C1 5G modem, Apple's first in-house cellular chip, replaced Qualcomm's in the Air, promising faster, more reliable connectivity without millimeter-wave 5G support. A custom Wi-Fi 7 chip, also Apple-designed, offered blazing speeds up to 40 gigabits per second and lower latency, paving the way for a future all-in-one system-on-chip. Battery life was a concern for such a thin device, but Apple countered with silicon anode battery, rumored at 2,800 microamp hours, optimized for longevity through stacked technology borrowed from electric vehicles. Fast charging, both wired and wireless, kept downtime minimal, though the Air didn't match the Pro model's endurance. The single 48-megapixel rear camera with a variable aperture delivered stunning depth of field effects and low-light shots, though it lacked the Pro's telephoto lens. As Tim Cook demoed the Air, he showcased iOS 26's liquid glass design, with translucent menus and circular icons inspired by Vision OS. The Air's AI tools shone, from real-time translations in FaceTime to a Games app optimized for its vibrant display. The crowd cheered, but online, ex-posts were mixed. Some hailed the Air's elegance, while others griped about the single camera and speaker.
A glimpse into its impact. The iPhone 17 Air wasn't just a phone, it was a statement. Replacing the lackluster iPhone 16 Plus, it targeted users who valued aesthetics over raw power. Priced around $900, it sat between the base iPhone 17 and the Pro models, though looming U.S. tariffs threatened a price hike. Analysts predicted it would test technologies for future foldable iPhones, with its thin chassis and port-free aspirations. In a fictional future, imagine Maya, a 25-year-old content creator in Mumbai, unboxing her sky-blue iPhone 17 Air. Its featherlight feel and sleek camera bar make it a star in her vlogs, though she misses the stereo sound for music. The 24MP selfie camera elevates her Instagram game, and the A19 chip handles 4K editing seamlessly. Yet when a monsoon flood hits, she curses the single speaker's faint alerts, a reminder of design trade-offs. Still, the Air's elegance wins her over, a symbol of Apple's daring vision. Part 3. Fascinating Facts and History of iPhones, 2,000 Words. The Birth of a Legend. On January 9, 2007, Steve Jobs unveiled the first iPhone, a device that merged a phone, an iPod, and an internet communicator into one touchscreen marvel. With a 3.5-inch display, 2MP camera, and 4 gigabytes of storage, it was revolutionary, selling 6.1 million units before its discontinuation in 2008. The App Store, launched in 2008 with the iPhone 3G, sparked a software ecosystem that now hosts over 1.8 million apps, transforming how we live, work, and play. Design evolution. Apple's design philosophy, simplicity, elegance, and durability have defined iPhones. The iPhone 4, 2010, introduced a glass and stainless steel sandwich, a flat aesthetic that returned with the iPhone 12, 2020. The iPhone 5, 2012, stretched to a 4-inch display and aluminum body, while the iPhone X, 2017, ditched the home button for a 5.8-inch edge-to-edge OLED and Face ID, setting the modern template. By 2025, the iPhone 16 Pro Max boasts a 6.9-inch display, a far cry from the original's compact form.
The iPhone 17 lineup, especially the Air, pushes boundaries with its 5.45mm chassis and titanium aluminum blend. Rumors of a half-glass, half-aluminum back for the Pro models and a horizontal camera bar reflect Apple's relentless pursuit of innovation. The shift from titanium to aluminum in some models aims for durability and cost efficiency, though fans on X debates its premium feel. Camera innovations. iPhones have redefined mobile photography. The iPhone 4S 2011 brought an 8MP camera and 1080p video, while the iPhone 7 Plus 2016 introduced dual lenses with portrait mode. The iPhone 11 Pro 2019 added a triple camera system, and the iPhone 14 Pro 2022 debuted a 48MP main sensor. By 2025, the iPhone 17 Pro is rumored to feature a 48-megapixel telephoto lens, with all rear cameras potentially hitting 48MP along with a 24MP selfie camera across the lineup. The iPhone 17 Air's single 48MP camera with variable aperture is a bold move, prioritizing quality over quantity. Computational photography, powered by Apple's Neural Engine, enhances low-light shots and video, with features like cinematic mode and photonic engine. Rumors of a 200MP camera for future models hint at Apple's ambition to rival DSLR quality. Performance and chips. Apple's A-series chips, designed in-house since the A4 2010, are industry leaders. The A16 Bionic 2022 in the iPhone 14 Pro delivered 4nm efficiency, while the A18 in the iPhone 16 2024 boosted AI performance. The iPhone 17 Air's A19 chip, paired with 12GB of RAM, supports Apple Intelligence, from AI call screening to Siri enhancements. The Pro model's A19 Pro chip promises even greater power, though 2nm chips won't arrive until 2026. Apple's move to in-house modems like the C1 in the iPhone 17 Air and Wi-Fi 7 chips across the lineup reduces reliance on Qualcomm and Broadcom, boosting efficiency. These chips enable Wi-Fi speeds up to 40 gigabits per second and seamless connectivity, critical for AR and VR apps Apple is rumored to develop.
Battery and sustainability. Battery life has improved steadily, with the iPhone 15 2023 leveraging stacked battery tech for 80% capacity retention after 1,000 cycles. The iPhone 17 Air's silicon anode battery aims to offset its slim design's constraints, though its 2,800 mAh capacity lags behind the Pro Max. Fast charging, now at 45 watts wired and 25 watts MagSafe, keeps pace with rivals, though far from Xiaomi's 210 watts. Apple's sustainability push is notable. By 2025, iPhones use 100% recycled aluminum and rare earth elements, with carbon-neutral assembly for the iPhone 16. The shift to eSIM in the iPhone 17 Air reduces plastic waste, and Apple's goal of a carbon-neutral supply chain by 2030 drives innovation in materials. Software and ecosystem. iOS has been iPhone's soul, evolving from iOS 1's basic interface to iOS 26's liquid glass aesthetic in 2025. Features like free-form app placement, customizable lock screens, and AI-driven Siri enhancements keep iOS ahead. Apple Intelligence, delayed but now robust, powers tools like live translation and visual intelligence, exclusive to iPhone 17 models with 12GB RAM. The iPhone's ecosystem, iCloud, AirPods, Apple Watch, creates a sticky user base. Over 2 billion active Apple devices in 2023 ensure seamless integration from CarPlay to HomeKit. The iPhone 17 Air's Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 5.3 enhance this connectivity, making it a hub for Apple's augmented reality and virtual reality ambitions. Cultural impact. iPhones are cultural icons. The iPhone 3GS 2009 popularized mobile video, while the iPhone 6 2014 fueled the phablet trend with 133 million units sold. The iPhone X's $999 price tag redefined premium smartphones, a threshold the iPhone 17 Pro may exceed with tariffs.
Over 2.2 billion iPhones have been sold by 2025, with Apple commanding 20% of the global smartphone market. Social media, from Instagram to TikTok, owes its rise to iPhone cameras and apps. The iPhone 17 Air's sleek design and 24-megapixel selfie camera will likely fuel content creation, though its single speaker may irk audiophiles. X posts reflect excitement for its thinness, but skepticism about compromises. Challenges and controversies. iPhones haven't been flawless. AntennaGate, iPhone 4 2010 sparked backlash, while Apple Maps' 2012 flop led to Tim Cook's apology. Battery throttling in 2017 cost Apple $500 million in settlements. The iPhone 17 Air faces tariff risks, with Trump's 25% levy on non-US made iPhones potentially raising prices. Apple's shift to India for production may mitigate this, but costs remain uncertain. How Apple changed the world. In the summer of 1976, two Steves, Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, tinkered in a California garage, dreaming of computers that could spark imagination. Their creation, Apple, named for its simplicity and nod to nature, would grow from a scrappy startup into a $3.4 trillion titan by 2025, reshaping technology, culture, and society in ways few could have predicted. Apple's influence, driven by relentless innovation and a knack for making tech feel human, has left an indelible mark on the world, from the way we communicate to how we define status and creativity. Revolutionizing technology. Apple didn't invent the computer, phone, or music player, but it redefined them. The 1984 Macintosh introduced a graphical interface, making PCs accessible to artists and everyday users, not just coders. By 2025, Apple's M4 chips powering Macs and iPads outperform rival laptops, with the MacBook Air's fanless design setting a standard for portability. The 2001 iPod, with its click wheel and 1,000-song capacity, killed off Walkmans, paving the way for digital music. By 2007, the iPhone fused a phone, iPod, and internet device into a touchscreen marvel, birthing the smartphone era. Over 2.2 billion iPhones have been sold by 2025, with Apple commanding 20% of the global smartphone market. The App Store, launched in 2008, was a game-changer, hosting 1.8 million apps by 2025 and generating $320 billion for developers. Platforms like Uber, Instagram, and TikTok owe their existence to Apple's ecosystem, empowering entrepreneurs from Nairobi to New York. Apple's in-house silicon, from the A4 2010 to the C1 5G modem in 2025, slashed reliance on Qualcomm, boosting efficiency. Wi-Fi 7 chips, delivering 40 gigabytes per second, hinted Apple's augmented reality ambitions. Rivals like Samsung adopted touchscreens, and Google refined Android, chasing Apple's lead. The company's push for USB-C in 2023, driven by EU regulations, standardized charging across devices, a ripple effect felt globally.
Shaping culture. Apple turned tech into a cultural phenomenon. The iPhone's minimalist design, from the iPhone 4's glass and steel elegance to the 2025 MacBook's sky blue hue, made devices fashion statements. Gold iPhones, debuted in 2013, became status symbols in China, while AirPods, introduced in 2016, redefined wireless audio, spawning memes and knockoffs. The Shot on iPhone campaign, winning Oscars for short films, empowered creators, from indie filmmakers in Brazil documenting Amazon deforestation to teens crafting TikToks. By 2025, iPhone users spend 3.5 hours daily on devices, fueling social media's dominance. Apple's retail stores, with their glass facades and Genius Bar, redefined customer service. By 2025, 526 stores in 26 countries serve as cultural hubs, inspiring brands like Tesla. The Apple Watch, launched in 2015, transformed wearables, with health features like ECG monitoring saving lives. Over 1,000 users credit it with detecting heart issues by 2023. Apple's ecosystem, iCloud, CarPlay, and HomeKit, connect 2 billion active devices, creating a seamless lifestyle. In India, where Apple production supports 150,000 jobs, Apple's influence extends to economic empowerment, though its $999 plus price tags draw elitist jabs on X. Economic and social impact. Apple's economic footprint is colossal. Employing 147,000 directly and supporting 2 million jobs via its supply chain, it's a global engine. In 2024, 14% of iPhones were made in India, shifting from China and boosting local economies. Apple Pay processed $2 trillion in transactions by 2024, rivaling traditional banks. The company's accessibility features, like VoiceOver and live captions, empowered disabled users, with 15% of iPhone owners relying on them by 2023. In education, 70% of U.S. schools use Apple devices, with iPads driving digital learning in remote African villages. Apple's privacy stance, notably resisting FBI iPhone unlocks in 2016, set a global precedent, though it fueled X debates about security versus surveillance. Its sustainability push, 100% recycled aluminum and carbon-neutral assembly by 2025, reshapes industries. The 2030 carbon-neutral goal drives innovations like eSIMs, cutting plastic waste. Yet critics point to labor issues in Foxconn factories and e-waste from frequent upgrades, challenges Apple addresses with recycling programs processing 50,000 tons annually. Challenges and controversies. Apple's influence has shadows. Its closed ecosystem locks users in, and App Store policies, with 30% fees, sparked Epic Games' 2020 lawsuit, forcing policy tweaks. Removing headphone jacks in 2016 and lightning cables in 2023 frustrated fans, but set trends competitors followed. High prices, $1,199 for some 2025 models, draw scrutiny, yet Apple's brand loyalty, with 90% user retention, keeps sales soaring. Antitrust probes in the EU and US, alleging monopoly practices, loom over its future, though Apple argues its control ensures quality. Global stories of change. In Kenya, Apple's impact is tangible. Entrepreneur Grace Otieno uses her iPad to run a Nairobi craft business, leveraging Apple's Swift Playgrounds to teach kids coding. In Japan, the Apple Watch's fall detection has saved elderly users, with 500 reported cases by 2024. In Australia, iPhone's AR kit helps architects visualize projects, cutting design time by 30%. These stories, shared on X, highlight Apple's role in empowering individuals, though its premium pricing limits access in poorer regions. A lasting legacy. Apple's genius lies in making tech intuitive and aspirational. The Macintosh democratized creativity, the iPod reshaped music, and the iPhone redefined connection. By 2025, Apple's push for AR glasses and autonomous vehicles hints at new frontiers. Its ability to anticipate desires, sleek designs, seamless ecosystems keeps it ahead, though critics urge more affordability. As X users muse, Apple doesn't follow trends, it creates them. From a garage to a global icon, Apple's legacy is a world where technology feels like an extension of us, for better or worse.